Hi, today we will talk a bit about cancer, this nasty disease that is scaring us because, at least in America and Europe, it is one of the first cause of death. If you're interested, maybe we can talk a little about the cancer itself, the pathology and all the mechanistic stuff in another video. Here, let's just introduce the concept because I wanted to talk about the deeper reason we get cancer. I mean, not the molecular one, but why? Why in 2017 the human race gets cancer? So, Oncology 101 goes like this. We have cells, and they divide. One cell becomes 2, 2 becomes 4, and so on and so forth, until you make a human, which is 10 to the 13 cells. This process of division, it's not magic, of course. The division apparatus is composed and regulated by proteins. The proteins physically divide the cells, produce the daughter cell's structure, and all the stuff. So cellular division is indirectly controlled by your DNA, because we said that your DNA makes your RNA that makes your protein that divide your cells. So the way our cells reproduce themselves is strictly linked to the DNA information they have. Now there is a problem. Every time a cell divides, if it's true that the two daughter cells need their DNA, and the mother cell has just one DNA strand and one DNA molecule, it means that the mother cell has to duplicate or replicate her DNA. During this process, called replication of the DNA strands, that is needed in order to give a DNA molecule to all the two daughter cells, there is a probability of mutating the original DNA in a random position. Just to give some information, some gist, scientists have done some calculations, and the result is that maybe there is a mutation every billions of letters. So in human DNA that contains 3 plus 3, 6 billions letters, there are more or less 6 mutated letters every time a cell replicates its DNA. To make a long story short, this mutation can occur in the DNA chunk that code for the proteins that serves the reproduction of the cells. So maybe a mutation makes the cell to divide a lot faster than the physiological rate. And this is the definition of cancer. The cancer is just a mass of cells that reproduce themselves at a very fast rate because their regulatory proteins are mutated due to this kind of process of replicative mutations. Okay, this is the mass of cells. I'm not clickbaiting you with a breast. It's just that breast cancer is the major cause of death by cancer in female populations. So you mutate the DNA chunk that contains the information for the cell division, and your cell division is unregulated, and this is cancer. Okay. Now, of course, any kind of mutation, like chemical mutation because of some dangerous chemicals or UV rays based mutation of the DNA, has the same effect. But I want to focus our attention upon replicative mutation because there is a big difference here to notice. A chemical like acrylamide that mutates the DNA is an exterior agent. A thing from the outside is damaging our DNA, and it's logically okay. We can't ask all the chemicals of the earth to be harmless. But with the replicative mutation is kind of different, because it's our machinery that is mutating us. The proteins that replicate the DNA sometimes just read the wrong thing and write a mutated strand of DNA. This is crazy. How is it possible that 3.5 billion years of evolution have made an hemoglobin protein that is just perfect, that makes us to run the Boston Marathon, and instead we have such a negligent system of replicating the DNA? If evolution would give us some perfect replicative machinery, we will stop to mutate our DNA every time our cells duplicate, and the incidence of cancer would just dramatically fall down. It sounds great, but this was kind of a conundrum, like a paradox. So let's dig into it. Let's look at what science says about it. Scientists trusted evolution, and they said this machinery, this replicative machinery, is dumb. It makes error, and it's been under 3.5 billion years of natural selection. What if there is a reason in an evolution contest of its dumbness and imprecision? So let's follow their reasoning, and the idea is to start with a mental experiment. Okay, let's imagine to have an organism that has the perfect replicative machinery. It's kind of the reductio ad absurdum for mathematical demonstration. A perfect replicative machinery means that his DNA of this organism, this perfect organism, will not mutate by his own. He will not get cancer for sure. Would this organism be evolutionary fitted? The answer is sadly no. And this is the hot topic today, because if his DNA will not mutate, he will not evolve, his information will stay the same forever. While the world around him and all the other creatures will change and adapt to environment every new generation. So when the world around him will be different from the beginning, while it will be the same, it will die, and this perfect species will be extinct. So I think this is a concept that could just take our brain and just it breaks my mind. The force that sustains our evolution is the imperfection in our replication. It creates the substrate for the natural selection. If all stays the same, it's not even a concept, the natural selection and positive selection, all the stuff. All makes sense only if we allow mutations to occur. But if we allow mutation to occur, we raise the risk of getting cancer and degenerative disease and stuff like this. I think this is a beautiful topic to discuss, okay? So don't be afraid to say what's your opinion about it. I mean, we are talking about the link between the necessity of die and the necessity of live, only because of the intrinsic mechanism of evolution and natural selection. In order to evolve, adapt ourselves to environment, in order to have arrived at the world today with humans and plants and all the creatures, we have needed to give up some of our health, some of our security. And now we are forced to deal with cancer. So, this is it for today. And thanks for watching, and see you later.